So we're moving over to the plumbing side of the streaming media and online video equation. I'm joined by Mark Watson, who is in the engineering department of Netflix, making sure all that content that you're consuming gets to you as quickly, efficiently, and stutter-free as possible. Would that be accurate?
That's accurate, yeah. We do our best.
So you're on a panel later today on adaptive streaming?
That's right, yeah. We're on the panel is about the MPEG DASH standard. So we've been working to try and understand how we can get industry standardization of the way adaptive streaming works. It's obviously a tremendous benefit to us if there are lots of different devices all working the same way.
So what are some of the current sticking points, and what's Netflix, how does Netflix hope this stuff will be resolved sort of beneficially to your company?
So the biggest sticking point for us is that we have to keep multiple copies of our library in different formats for different kinds of device. And that, as well as different video formats, it can be just different container formats that different devices use for their adaptive streaming mechanisms. And so the biggest advantage to us of a standard like MPEG DASH is that everything can be encoded one way and encapsulated one way and stored on our CDN servers just once. And that's a benefit both in terms of saving our CDN costs from a storage perspective, and a benefit because you have greater cache efficiency, because those are the streams that are used by the most devices that are most likely to be in the edge caches. And we definitely see that having the content in the edge caches greatly improves the performance that the users see.
Are there sort of issues people are butting heads on?
So right now the MPEG DASH work in MPEG is completed. So there were lots of issues, yes, but those are pretty much resolved now. There are a bunch of different profiles defined in that standard, like one for live, one for on-demand. And so people need to decide which of those profiles they want to implement for their use cases. For us, everything is on-demand, so on-demand profile of MPEG DASH works very well for us. And there's perhaps still file format issues between MPEG-2 transport streams on the one hand and fragmented MP4 files on the other hand. And we definitely see the fragmented MP4 file as the way to go there as a modern file format that works very well for adaptive streaming, and it's much simpler for adaptive streaming than MPEG-2 transport streams.
So talk to me about the Netflix sort of operational setup. I mean, you're headquartered in Northern California.
Yeah.
And then do you have just data centers everywhere? And how massive are these data centers?
Well, all our content today is delivered through CDNs. Okay. So the companies you've all heard of, we contract with multiple. Those guys, yeah. Okay. We contract with multiple CDNs at the same time, and our clients will actually choose which one is performing best for each client.
When you say your clients, what do you mean?
The devices.
The devices.
The TVs with Netflix applications on them, the set-top boxes, games consoles, and computers as well.
So the software you build that's on the PlayStation or on Boxy or Google TV or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's client software that you have engineered.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's basically an app that we either work with TV manufacturers and device manufacturers to have them integrate that app into the device before it ships, or on other platforms it can be downloaded, and on the iPad and iPhones you can download the app and install it.
Actually, speaking of the iPhone and the iPad, where are you seeing sort of the most explosive growth in terms of people consuming Netflix content? So both devices and platforms, because you can tell if somebody's watching it from Google TV or PlayStation or Xbox, right?
Certainly the mobile devices are growing very quickly, but still mobile devices are quite a small percentage of our overall streaming. I think that there's no one category that is the majority, but between the games consoles, the devices like TVs and set-top boxes, and and just regular PCs and Macs, then this is roughly an even split.
I almost view Netflix as capable of sort of seeing which of these platforms are taking off based on your usage, your consumers' usage of your app on those platforms, or is the PlayStation platform taking off, or is Boxy taking off, or Apple TV or Google TV?
Some people at Netflix have those figures, but that doesn't include me.
I thought we could get some dirt here, but
sorry.
Some of the numbers thrown around are sort of during peak consumer hours, like people just get home at night. You account for 30+% of sort of all internet traffic. It seems like everything's pushed out to the Limelights and the Akamais of the world in terms of sort of delivering on that heavy load.
Yeah.
So you're mostly almost just sort of an engineering, you're not a delivery company, you're focused on obviously content deals with studios, building the apps to make sure people can consume you on all platforms, and you're a marketing company as well.
Yeah, but we are also interested in how the delivery works and in really understanding what's going on within the ISP networks between the edge servers that are serving the content and the end devices. One thing that's important to us is that the whole system is based on HTTP streaming, so there's no need for any kind of special kinds of servers or special kinds of caches. And we are kind of working directly with a number of different ISPs to help them deal with this traffic that we're creating and come up with solutions that can be beneficial to all of us to try and to deal with that traffic load and offer a better service to the customers as well.
So from the Netflix perspective, give me one or two innovations that have happened in the past year that have just made your life so much more enjoyable, and one innovation that is like a couple months away that you're going to be able to take advantage of.
That I can talk about.
Right.
I have to think about that.
So give me the past first. So as Akamai or have the CDNs come up with some new interesting stuff, or even on the sort of like connected devices front?
That I know of, not on the CDN side. I mean, we're constantly working on the algorithms that our clients implement for how they run the adaptive streaming. So certainly it's entirely up to the client, like which versions, which different bit rates to select at what times, and it's the client are monitoring the throughput that they get from the network that they're on, and making decisions about changing bit rate and so on. And we're constantly...
So in the past year, have you come up with an algorithm that you've been particularly proud of?
We have made improvements that I'm pretty proud of, and we'll see those kind of rolled out soon. I think I can say much about exactly what they are. Given
just the enormous content library you're developing, the enormous amount of traffic that content is responsible for, what are sort of some of the biggest issues and challenges around delivering that in a satisfactory way to end consumers, and what keeps you up at night?
So the biggest challenge with the way our system works is that it's the internet. We're delivering over the internet, so you have no guarantees about the throughput that you're going to get. So whether the customer gets a perfect constant stream with no interruptions, or whether they constantly see rebuffering or poor quality, is all down to how good the algorithms in the client are for detecting what rates, what throughput it can get, and adapting to that. And that's not straightforward because there is no model of the internet that you can run in your lab to kind of test what's going to happen. You can guess at what might be happening out there, but the range of different things that happen from users' home networks and competition on the home network through the access networks, down all the way to the data centers that the CDNs have, is just enormous, the number of different things that can happen. So making sure that the algorithms can cope with that and that everybody gets a good experience is, I guess, one of the harder parts of the delivery piece.
Does your wife find algorithms sexy?
You'd have to ask her that. I don't think so, actually.
Well, we'll end on that. I will look into this, and I'll have the answer for that as soon as I talk to his wife. I appreciate the time. Thanks for joining us.
Okay, no problem. It's great to talk to you.